You know, the last time I stepped off of a plane from overseas back into the United States, I could literally see how strange and odd Americans acted towards each other. So I'm in the airport and people are holding up signs for loved ones getting off the plane. Now I'm assuming that these are people that they haven't seen for a while because they have a sign with the person's name. Obviously the person doesn't recognize them and they don't recognize the person, but it's for a loved one. It's not, you can tell the limo drivers or a taxi driver or a driver sent to collect somebody, right? They're dressed in uniform and they have some sort of sign with a business name or corporate name on it. So let's get back to the people with the signs. So they get off the plane and I see them meet, right? And they stand 6 feet apart, stick their hand all the way out to the very limit, and the other person sticks their hands out to the very limit, and they go, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you," and they shake hands, right? They're 6 feet apart. No hugging, no kissing, right? No rubbing cheeks together. This is what I'm used to overseas. Very intimate, very close, and it is so glaring and it shocks my senses to see this. Why am I talking about this? So that when I get to how I see black people acting, you understand and realize that it's true. I didn't grow up in the United States. I grew up overseas. I didn't have this whole black people are second-class citizens, black people are ignorant, black people are criminal, black people are black people, black people, black people, black people, right? When I saw black people, it was like somebody is shining a spotlight. It's so glaring, so offensive how black people think of themselves, act towards white people, and how white people act towards black people. Even the ones who think they are the just bestest, most caring, bestest, I love me some black people, white people. It is like somebody, the spotlights that they shine when they have the grand opening at the stores, and it's shining and it's so bright that it's hitting the clouds up in the skies and you could see the light beam from miles and miles away. That's how I see it. That's how it is. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the shooting. I'm talking about the shooting where the white guy went into the church, sat for an hour, and then shot everybody in the place. I don't mean to step on anyone's toes, but oh hell, yes I do. Why in the goddamn hell would you jump to forgive a racist murderer? Black people, you Negroes are so indoctrinated and don't know it. It's a damn shame. I wouldn't form my lips to forgive anyone. It's a made-up fantasy to begin with. It's to keep the peasants in place. What am I talking about? Forgiveness. It's a fantasy. It doesn't exist. It's a mental thing. It has nothing to do with anything. Think for a damn second. When was the last time you heard an elite oligarch forgive anyone? Not only do they want recompense, they'll seek to take more, even when nothing was done to them. Stop being peasants, jumping up out of your seats hollering, "Forgive him!" Take a seat. Take several seats. If I had a damn magic wand, I would erase every American Negro's mind. You all are so psychologically damaged. I'd have to start from scratch to make you regular humans. "Oh, yes, massa, beat me some mo. Me's a bad Negro, beat me some mo." Time out. Are you men or what? Where I'm from, if I hear another Negro talking about forgiveness is holy, really? Have you read the damn Bible? You weren't forgiven. God made a sacrifice, a blood sacrifice. And even then, you're still not forgiven, because as sure as I'm almost blue-black, if you don't hop to it, your behind is going to hell. So where did the forgiveness doctrine come from? It's not biblical. It's to keep peasants in check. That's like if somebody came into my house, I wouldn't even ask them what they're doing. It'd be over because before they could say anything. Let a random white guy sit up in church for an hour and no one even say anything to him. Last time I checked, Negroes don't have magical powers to cast spells of ESP. Are we so far gone that you're afraid to offend people? Stop and say, hey, white boy, did you get lost? Why are you in our church? If you knew me in real life, you'd know I'd stop the entire service and ask. And as soon as he would have started with the niggers are taking over this country, he wouldn't have even have got out the gers part out of niggers. Be offended and stand the hell up for yourselves. Christ on a cracker, that was dumb. I have no sympathy nor any forgiveness. And he was on drugs to begin with. You can't observe that? He would have had his head chopped off. Eyes gouged out. Arm dislocated, knees dislocated. He wouldn't have got out anything. And he wouldn't have been sitting up there for an hour without me saying, so I would have turned around. He sat in the back of the church. He sat in the back of the church. Everybody else is by the altar. Jesus gonna save us. Jesus gonna, and the devil walked right into your church and murdered you. If that doesn't tell you that God is not omnipresent, I don't know what it does. I need a sign. You don't need a sign. You need some sense. Your God has no power. The dude came right into your church and murdered you. And the first thing you holler is, let's pray to God. What? At what point do you say, okay, I've had enough evidence. It's time to stop this. At what point do you be a man with some sense and this is not working? We're praying to an empty shell, and you're so indoctrinated, your mind is so psychologically damaged that you won't even get what I'm saying to you. It's just like the battered wife. You don't know him like I do. Yes, I do. He's beating the hell out of you. What don't you get? I just need to have a prayer life. I just need to pray some more. What don't you get? He isn't there. And I don't know how many religious videos I have to make telling you that it was all made up. What if I told you that the Catholic and Roman Church did not think that the religion itself would last out the century? And when it was started in the middle of the damn century, they didn't even think it would last 50 years. They did not think it would last 50 years. What don't you get? And you, black people, are not even the first people. This is the second hand, third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand. This isn't even your God. And we got black people. Well, Jesus was black and what? No. Jesus wasn't black. Horus was black. Horu was black. Huh? Osiris was black. Osiris Ra was black. Ra was black. But you're not worshiping Ra. You're worshiping this Roman made-up god called Serapis Christo, made up 300 years BC. Did you hear me? BC. If you want to pretend that it actually really existed, let's go back to when it really existed. 300 BC. So what are you talking about 0 AD? That the church started in 0 AD, which isn't even real. It started, the Catholic Church started in 354 AD, didn't actually organize until 500 something AD, and didn't actually print out any a real cohesive book until 1600 AD. Oh, wait, what? So what is this? It's been around for 2,000 years. We changed our calendar because your calendar was actually changed in 1600 AD and everything was backtracked. Oh, you didn't know that? Your whole life is a lie and you just don't know it. And as black people, people who were beaten, tarred, feathered, quartered. Do you know what quartered means? That means 4 horses are gathered together. Your arm is tied to one. Your legs are tied to one, each one. And then they smack the horses and make them run in 4 opposite directions. And you are torn apart. It's called quartering. That's what they did to Negroes to get them to worship Jesus Christ. Their legs were chopped off. Their arms were chopped off. They were burned in their houses. They poured boiling oil on you to get you to worship Jesus Christ. He is not the real anything, and he's definitely not for black people. You have your own gods that are tens of thousands of years old. Tens of thousands. You've been living a lie. You have been living a lie. And the white man said that, okay, you want to be Christian? Okay, you can be a Christian, but you can't come to our church. We're not going to have any niggers up in our church. Are you insane? You better go form your own church over there. Go build it. but we don't have any money. Oh well, better get to stepping, and you better be a good Christian. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna pick the pastor. And they have been doing that ever since. I told you what I meant when I said I got off the plane, and when I look at black people, it's like looking into a spotlight. The insanity is just glaring. It's so open and obvious to me. I don't care how rich you are, too. If you grew up in the United States and were indoctrinated into this culture, when I look at you, I see a blinding light, just glaring. Your insanity just comes right out to me. It is so open and obvious. And when I see a white person, the same thing is so open and obvious to me. I got good hair. Oh, he's black as smut. I'm gonna go get me my hair did. Shona, look, my hair blows in the wind. What? What if I told you Africans pampered and babied Europe, taught them how to be civilized? Do you know that we had empires rise and fall, and it was the Europeans running around in loincloths, in wolves' skins, deer skins, boar skins, making huts, didn't even know how to chop down trees, had no tools. We're sitting up in palaces. And I'm not talking about Egypt. Everybody wants to say Egypt. What they have done is completely erased the entire African continent's history from you. We had continents larger. We had empires larger than all of Europe. All. East, west, north, south, the entire area. Because you know you can fit 3 Europes into Africa. We had empires larger. There was an emperor in each of those empires, sitting up in palaces, bathed in gold everything. And the Europeans are running around in loincloths and beating each other over the head in tribal form. They didn't become Europeans as we know them today until the Africans came and showed them how. I tell you, when I look at black people and I look at white people, it's just like a damn glaring spotlight. The ignorance, the sheer stupidity, the insanity. Oh, Jesus, forgive him, Jesus. Oh, we forgive. What? Be a man. Stand up and be accounted. You want to talk about some white privileges? White privilege is standing up and being accounted. Oh, I deserve this. You're black people. You built the damn country. What do you deserve? You don't deserve anything? Friggin' if I grew up in the United States and somebody said to me, I'd be like, hold up. I built the West, and they have erased Negroes from all of the history of the West. Utah, Colorado, Nevada, California, Washington, Arizona, New Mexico, black. Where do you think those slaves went to? And the Native Americans, with so many black people love to claim that they're Native American or half or whatever. The Native Americans were given a stipend to find and kill any and all escaped slaves. They even killed black freemen. That is free black people from North or wherever who had money, who had everything to their name, who were citizens of the United States as far as the North was concerned. Indians killed them too. You love to feel sorry for the Indians. You love to, oh, I'm half Apache. I'm half Coyote. I'm half Pueblo Indian. These are the same Indians that hunted you down and killed you, scalped you, and gave your scalp for payment. Yes, I scalped 10,000 niggers. Hand it over. I need gold dollars. Come on, silver dollars, hand them over. I need greenbacks, hand them over. I got it right here. You don't know your history. And it's just so glaring. I got good hair. He's a pretty light skin. He's a pretty red bone. Oh, he's a high yellow. You're just as ignorant as the day is long. If I were in charge, you wouldn't be called black at all. This is some slavery terminology that the one-drop rule actually exists. You're more Scandinavian than you are black. And you don't even know anything about being black. What tribe do you come from? Who's the king over your tribe this very day? You don't know. You don't have a clue. First of all, you don't even know what tribe you're from. You don't know your language. You don't know anything. You don't know your religion. But if you go to your grandfather or whatever, whoever raped whomever, you know what? You could find out what the Scandinavians are doing, what the Germans are doing, what the Dutch are doing. You can find that out. But you can't even find out what tribe you're from in Africa, what empire you came from, what king you were under in Africa. You have no idea. No idea and no way of finding out. Forgiveness. Really? First of all, you need to drop that zero religion. Religion. Your God is empty. If Satan can walk right into your house, first of all, if you're going to be so holy, if the ground that the very church is sitting on is so holy, Satan wouldn't have been able to walk into your house of worship and massacre all of you. And to top it off, which really makes me angry, he reloaded 3 or 4 times. What was everybody doing while he's reloading? Hello? And we're not talking about this guy with Super Spy 007, where he pop out, click, click, reload. This guy had a revolver. We're talking about 1001, click, 1002, click, 1003, click. What is everybody doing? Oh, Jesus gonna come and say, and all of y'all dead. If your God has no works, if your God has no power, he's not a God. What don't you get? Oh, you don't know him like I do. He's delivered. He hasn't delivered you. Tyrone delivered you. Tyrone paid your rent when you didn't have rent. Tyrone paid your car note so you could get to work. Tyrone took care of your kids when you didn't have daycare. That's who did that, not God. Oh, God put it onto, no, God didn't, but Tyrone's an atheist. But Tyrone has a good heart. And Tyrone said, I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna help out a black sister. I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna help out a black brother who has a family and needs to make a way. But you don't give thanks to Tyrone. Your God didn't do that, and you won't even hear me until you're dead in the ground. Oh, okay, maybe he was right. Maybe we were worshiping a false, made-up Roman white God. And I know I'm gonna get some white people coming in here and talking about, he is the truth. There are over 4,000 religions in the world. You are supposed to think that your religion is real. You are supposed to. And the whole intent of Christianity wasn't to make an actual God. It wasn't to make sure that people believe in one true God. It was to stop people from worshiping Mithraism, the Persian God. Roman versus Persian, but you don't know history enough to even know what the whole religion was about. You have no idea what Mithraism is. You are a fool, you've been played for a fool, and you've been kept ignorant all of these years. Forgive him. I wouldn't form my lips to even forgive anybody. Forgiveness is a made-up concept. What is it actually done? It's to keep the peasants in line. I can poop on you, I can rape your women, I can murder your husbands right in front of you, and you, as a Christian, are supposed to forgive me. Yo massa. If you don't forgive, yo massa, you ain't getting in heaven. What? And what's funny is, we laugh at the Muslims for saying that they are going to commit suicide, blow up a bunch of people, and then go to heaven and have 7 virgins. We make fun of them. We make fun of them. Now, which is more stupid? To blow up some people, that's actually doing something, hello, versus allowing some people who said that their skin color is better than ours and allow them to rape, murder, beat in broad daylight, and we're supposed to forgive them. Not 7 times, but 7 times 7 times. That's right, it says, right? That's what it says, right? That's what you've been taught. That's what you've been indoctrinated to think. I wish somebody would somebody come up in my, I don't care what they said. If somebody came up in my house, they would be dead. There is no, what are you doing? I didn't invite you in. And we wouldn't even have that conversation. There would be no conversation of, why are you here? Blah, blah, blah. If they're in the middle of my living room, they're dead. I am always going to assume the worst. And this boy was all up on drugs. Oh, he heaped up on drugs. And he had written on his Facebook 2 hours earlier that he was going to commit suicide by cop, but he changed his mind. He was going to go kill him some niggers and then commit suicide, but he didn't go through with the suicide part. And he stood up and announced, "You niggers are taking over everything. You niggers are destroying this country." So he's giving a speech. What are they doing there? They're just looking funny? You know, oftentimes I look at movies and I see the bad guy or the good guy pontificate. Do you know who I am? I am Charles Xavier. You killed my father, and I have taken I'm about to take my revenge now. I have been training. he would have been dead. In my mind, he would have been dead. All he would have gotten out is, I am Charles Xavier. I would have been a Charles Xavier. Oh, that's the son of the guy that I killed 30 years ago. I better kill him quick. I know he's out for revenge. It's time to settle this right here and now. No, there wouldn't have been no 5-minute speech. And I thought surely nobody in real life would sit there and let this guy pontificate. But he gave a 5-minute speech while they sat there. Black people, are you really this stupid? What the hell's wrong with you? Is there not one among you with some sense who can wipe away all of the indoctrination and wipe away all the liberal crap? You side with the Democrats that called you nigger, who invented the KKK, who stopped you from voting, even when the Constitution said that you could vote. What part don't you get? They have to take it to the Supreme Court for the Supreme Court says, look, niggers can vote. Look, that's what it said, point blank. Why do we even have to have this conversation again? And you fall for the okadoke with Martin Luther King and all the others that followed him. Oh, y'all need to vote Democrat. They helped you out. They didn't help you out. The Republicans helped you out and kept helping you, even when the Republicans are going downhill. Is there not one among you who could stand up, have a backbone, and say, you know what? Why am I going to a white man to ask him for a job? That doesn't make sense. We need to start back from scratch. Forgiveness. Who's telling you that you need to forgive? White people. They can murder you and then turn around and tell you forgive. What? What kind of sense does that even make? Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.